Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you're new here, I'm Kelly. In today's video, we are starting another Flashback Friday series. I did a Flashback Friday series in January where I was revisiting all of my old Best of Beauties, and while I was working on that video, I saw that Lauren May Beauty did a kind of series on her channel where she was revisiting her past Sephora purchases from like years prior. So just for fun, I got on my Sephora app and I was looking all the way back to the beginning of my purchases. Now my purchases started in 2013 and 2014, and there were a few purchases here and there, but they really picked up in 2015 and became regular in 2015 and 2016. However, for some reason, I'm not able to look at those purchases. Like, I can see that a purchase was made, but when I click on order details, it tells me that there are no order details. So the first year that I was actually able to see my purchases was 2017. So we're gonna have a 3-week series where we are going to revisit my 2017 purchases at Sephora, which is this video here, and then next Friday we will do 2018, and the Friday after that we will do 2019. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure you're subscribed. That way you will be notified when my Flashback Fridays series videos are going live. But why don't we go ahead and jump into the video. Like I said, I did get this inspiration or this idea from Lauren May Beauty, so I'm gonna have her listed in the description box down below. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw up pictures of my purchases, I'm gonna talk about what the purchase is and what my thoughts are on it. So in 2017, the first time I made a Sephora purchase, it was in store in a JCPenney, and this was on January 24th. I picked up a full size of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, which I still use. It's still a staple in my brow journey. I remember first trying that in a Play by Sephora box, which obviously must have been earlier, like maybe in 2016. I got like a small sample size, and I was always one of those people before where I would be like, I'm not gonna spend $22 on a clear brow gel when I can get something from the drugstore. But after trying the ABH Clear Brow Gel, I heard someone talk about it one time and say that it was like putting hairspray on their brows. So that was why they didn't like it. But for me, someone who has to draw these brows on every single day, I want some hairspray in my brows. So that's why I like it. I also purchased a Sephora Collection face mask, the Lotus face mask. So this was the Sephora brand. It was in a pink packaging. It was a sheet mask, and I think it says that they were $6. Now this item is sadly no longer available on the Sephora website. I'm guessing they discontinued it. I still see that Sephora has like their own brand of sheet masks, but just not this particular one. The Lotus, I was gonna say the Lotus flavor. The Lotus, well, what is it? The Lotus scent? You know what I mean. It was for moisturizing and soothing, and I have dry skin, so I went through tons of those sheet masks, and I didn't feel bad because they were $6. But ultimately, you wear a sheet mask for like 10-15 minutes, you take it off, you rub the product into your skin, and you're good to go. So I purchased several of those, but I have not gotten them in many years now. It looks like I also picked up a Benefit Cosmetics Roller Lash Mascara, the smaller size, for $13. And ironically enough, that is the mascara that I have on my lashes today. I don't know when I was introduced to this mascara, but I also used to be a heavy-duty drugstore mascara gal, and I still do like my drugstore mascaras, but this must have been when I was like dipping my toe into the high-end realm. And of course, I'm someone who changes out my mascaras like every 3 months, so getting a smaller size, I would only purchase the full size if it was on sale or something like that. So I would continue to purchase the smaller size. The one that I have now is the full size, but I still really love that mascara. The next time that I made a purchase, it was online, and you guys are going to see when I make purchases online, I have a really bad habit, and this is like anything, not just makeup, but I have a really bad habit of like needing something or wanting something. So I purchase it right then instead of like making a list. Like my next purchase was February 2nd. It was an online order, and the only thing that I purchased was the Caudalie Moisturizing Toner for $28. Now that's a toner that I've been using for years and years and years. It's still in my collection. I still have it. So the fact that I purchased it and that was the only thing that I got, that tells me that it was a repurchase. But I have a really bad habit of doing that, because then my next purchase, I also ordered online, and it was February 9th. So literally 7 days later, again, I made one purchase, the Derma Doctor Wrinkle Revenge Eye Balm, which is a $50 eye balm. It's no longer sold at Sephora, but I found that that eye balm was ophthalmologist tested, safe for upper eyelid use. Most of the products that we use underneath our eye are not safe for your upper eyelid, and for someone like me who suffers with eczema on my eyelids, I was looking for an eye cream that I could put up there. So that's why I purchased this one. I'm not sure if this was my first time to purchase it or if it was a repurchase, but that's what I'm saying, is like I could have ordered the Caudalie toner and the Derma Doctor Wrinkle Revenge Eye Balm at the same time. They were ordered 7 days apart. And so I just have a really bad habit of doing that, where I think, oh, I need this one thing, I want this one thing, so I get it right then. Now, me being a Rouge member, I didn't have to pay for shipping, so that's probably why I was so apt to like just make my purchase when I needed it. But I try now really hard to like make a cart and wait until I at least have a few items. But that is a bad habit of mine, and that's something I do that with Amazon too, and it's so bad, y'all. It's so bad. My next purchase I made in store, and so you'll see when I do go in store, I tend to purchase more things at once. So this, I went to the mall by me, and this was on February 19th. So what was that, 10 days? 10 days after my online purchase, and I picked up my Makeup Forever liquid lipstick in the shade 105, which I recently decluttered. I decluttered that in 2020, and that was probably a good call because I didn't know when I purchased that, but I purchased it in 2017. That was $20. I really liked that shade because it had like the gray mauve undertones, like my Kylie Cosmetics Malibu. I'm into those like gray liquid lips. I know that some people think that it like makes them look a little bit dead, but I really like that look. I also purchased my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, $23 in the shade Caramel. Still the brow product I'm using. That's the perfect shade match for my hair color, so I continue to purchase it time and time again. This is interesting. I purchased the Shiseido facial cottons for $5. Now I was like, how did I purchase this for $5? Because I'm pretty sure that it's like $10 or $12 now, but I guess they had a smaller size because it was 40 sheets. And now when I think about it, I'll spend, I think it's $12 now for 165 sheets. So that's more than double. So this was kind of a ripoff, but this might have been the beginning of my Shiseido facial cotton journeys. These are definitely a luxury facial cotton, let me tell you. You can go to Ulta, you can go to Target, get the Up and Up brand, get the Ulta brand, and you can get like 80 or 100 facial cottons for like $4. But the Shiseido facial cottons are so soft, they feel so smooth on the skin, and they don't peel off and leave little white fuzzes all over your face. So I am telling you, in my humble opinion, it is worth the splurge. We know that we're gonna have the Sephora VIB sale coming up, so I would definitely, if you wanna try it out and you don't wanna spend the $12 on it, wait for a sale, but they are worth it. And I don't cut them in half, I just use one, and I use it for my toner and even to remove some of my eye makeup, but you can even cut it in half and then you get double. So I recommend it. It's definitely a very luxurious facial cotton, but one of my favorites. So this was February 19th, and then February 26th, I made another online purchase. Again, I only got one thing. Who is surprised? But I picked up the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit for $40. Now I have to say, that glow kit was not my favorite. I'm just now realizing I probably should have scooted over for the pictures, but hopefully you don't mind that. I picked up this glow kit. I'm sure that's probably around the time that it released. This was my first Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit purchase. I hadn't purchased any of them in the past because thinking about $40 for some highlighters, usually anytime you look at a face palette like that, they try to make it so that a variety of skin tones can use the product, so everywhere from fair down to deep skin tones. So what that means is that for one person who's purchasing this product for themselves, you can't use all of them. I remember not liking this glow kit, and shortly after I got it, I did sell it to one of my friends on Instagram. I think I just made a post about how I was going to sell it on Poshmark, and one of my friends on Instagram reached out to me and was like, hey, I couldn't get my hands on that. I'm really interested in purchasing it. Can I buy it from you? And I think I even sent her the link on Poshmark, and I was like, just do it that way, but she ended up getting it. I think that I could only use 2, maybe 3 of the shades. I think probably the first 2 on the top row and then that white one on the bottom were the only ones that I could use. The 2 tan ones on the bottom were too deep for me, and then there was like an orange toned one, and I just didn't love the formula in general. They were pretty glittery, if I'm remembering correctly. So I know that I purchased that because I really like Nicole Guerrero, and so I wanted to support her collab, and I was interested at the time in trying out a glow kit, but that's the only glow kit that I've purchased, and it didn't last very long in my collection. Then I waited a while. So we had 4 purchases in February, 1 in January, and then my next purchase was March 14th, and again, it was an online order. I love ordering online, and this is, I mean, pre-COVID. This time I ordered 2 products. So I got my hands on the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Stick Foundation. I purchased the Y245 Soft Sand Shade. Y'all know those tongue twisters get me, for $43. And this was my first time trying the First Aid Beauty Face Cleanser for $20. I ended up loving that face cleanser. I felt like it was really good at removing my makeup. It definitely got like all of my eye makeup off. I think before that I had been using the Purity Face Cleanser by Philosophy, and that one works well, but it's not the best at getting makeup off. I feel like the First Aid Cleanser definitely removed makeup better. The reason why I stopped using it was when I got pregnant the following year in 2018, I found this website, 15 Minute Beauty, and she like talks about pregnancy safe skincare, and the First Aid brand was not listed as pregnancy safe because of licorice root extract, I believe. So I ended up not using that anymore because of that. And then my Makeup Forever Stick Foundation, I ended up not liking it at first because of my dry skin, and I couldn't find a way to make it work for me. I felt like it was super convenient when we were traveling because I wasn't traveling with a liquid, I wasn't worried about a bottle breaking, and I could really quickly just like rub it on and blend it out with a sponge. But if I'm remembering correctly, I think I ended up putting it in a project pan, probably my 2018 project pan, and in using it regularly in that project pan, I ended up falling in love with it. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at that project pan and see if I ended up using it completely because I don't remember. But I feel like I did. I feel like I used it up all the way, or did I feel like it went bad or something? But that's one where, I mean, it worked well enough. I would try it again, but I kind of want to try some other stick foundations before that. And if you're not new here, you know I'm kind of weird about foundations, but those were the 2 products that I picked up on March 14th, and that was the only time that I made a purchase in March. So then the next time that I made a purchase, it was again an online order, and it was April 18th. It does not look like this was during the VIB sale. I mean, I guess maybe it was. I'm just looking at the screenshots I took. this had to be. In order for me to purchase these 4 items, and when you see the price tag, this had to be during the VIB sale. But I picked up a Caudalie Moisturizing Toner for $28. That was a repurchase. Then, do y'all remember Estee Lauder had the brand the Estee Edit? Well, they had a pore vanishing stick. So I ended up picking that out to try. And I remember liking it enough, but that was not a product that I used very long in my collection at all. And the Estee Edit didn't last very long at all. Then I purchased a Glam Glow Gravity Firming Mud Treatment Mask for $69. This was maybe my first or second time purchasing a full-size jar. I always purchased the $20 Thirsty Mud Mask, and I would use that one, the smaller size. But I remember the purple one came out and I wanted to try it, and they didn't have a $20 one, so that's why I purchased that one. And then I also picked up a Murad Hydrodynamic Quenching Essence for my dry skin. That was $78, and I remember really liking that. It felt very nourishing on the skin, but I don't know that it did enough for me to spend another $78 on it, because that was the only time I purchased it. I remember liking it, just not enough to purchase it again. Then I made another purchase again online, and this was just a few days later on April 22nd, but I only got one thing, and it was the Tatcha's Bestsellers Kit. And in that kit, I'm trying to see what it came with. It looks like it came with the Dewy Spray, the Luminous Dewy Skin Spray, the Camilla Cleansing Oil, the Rice Polish, and I'm not 100% sure what's in that jar, but because it's white, that might have been the Silk Cream. And I actually fell in love with the Silk Cream when I bought the Bestsellers set, but that Silk Cream is $120. So this past Christmas, when they had it in another set, I purchased it, and I do remember really liking it, and I really liked it again when I purchased it this past Christmas, but I just can't bring myself to spend $120 on a moisturizer when there are other moisturizers that I enjoy. That takes us into June. June 1st, I made a purchase online. Again, I only purchased one thing, and it was the Origins High Potency Nightamins Mineral Enriched Renewal Face Cream. It was my night face cream for $43. I remember going through so many of these. It smelled like an orangesicle. It smelled so good. It was very nourishing on the skin. Like I said, I went through several of them. I don't remember if this was my first one. I'm kind of wondering if I purchased it in June, maybe it was my first time trying it, because I don't think that it took me 6 months to use up. But I remember I stopped using it when I got pregnant because it has salicylic acid in it, and my OB told me to stay away from salicylic acid, but that is a really good night cream. I do remember really enjoying that one. The next purchase that I made in store was June 16th. And the funny thing is, I purchased it at the mall, and June 16th is Smag's birthday. And I feel like that was the year that we turned 30. So it must have been her 30th birthday, and her husband is a pilot and he was out of town. So her and I went to the mall together, and Sephora is our favorite place. But the only thing I picked up was a Diva Curl Styling Cream. So my hair is not curly. It has like a little bit of a wave to it, and I've typically always used drugstore products and tried to like scrunch it up, but I guess for some reason I wanted to try this Diva Curl, and I mean, I remember trying it, but I don't know that it really did anything for my hair, and I didn't wear my hair scrunched a lot, so in my opinion, that was a waste of money because I literally just threw it away. When I realized that I had purchased it in 2017 and that we're in 2021 and I hadn't been using it, I just now got that out of my collection. Then, even though I went to the store on June 16th, on June 28th, I made another online purchase, and I purchased the Armani Beauty C Rollerball for $28. I do not think that that was my first time purchasing it. I'm pretty sure the first time I purchased it in store because I probably put it on my arm and tested it out. So this was probably a repurchase, still in my collection, still what I use every day. I also picked up the Drunk Elephant Rise and Glow Brightening Duo, and it looks like it's the vitamin C, I think, in the orange cap and the blue cap. is their Hydro something serum. Anyway, I wanted to try Drunk Elephant. I know that it was a favorite of Smeg's at the moment, and they had that little duo, so that's why I picked it up, but I never went on to repurchase either of those. I think they kind of just, for the price tag, it didn't really do much for me. So far in 2017, I made 1 purchase in January, 4 purchases in February, 1 purchase in March, 2 purchases in April, 3 in June, and then y'all, I did not make another purchase until November 3rd. And that was my last purchase of the year. I just find that so interesting that I did that. I mean, I purchased so much in the beginning of the year. All of a sudden, June comes and goes. I mean, I know my husband and I were traveling at the time, so I was gone for the month of July. August was back to school, but I just think it's funny that I didn't make a purchase again until November, and I'm guessing that the reason why I made a purchase was it was probably the Sephora VIB sale. So I purchased these inside a JCPenney on November 3rd, repurchased my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I also got another Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I also purchased the First Aid Beauty Face Cleanser, tongue twister, face cleanser. All 3 of those were repurchases that I purchased in the beginning of the year. And I picked up the Tarte Tartlet Toasted Eyeshadow Palette for $39. It does say that this is out of stock on Sephora, so I don't know if you can get this eyeshadow palette any longer. I got the Tartlet Toasted because this was back when everybody was raving about the Tartlet and Tartlet in Bloom palettes, and I wanted to try them, but I was very into warm tones at the time, so when the Tartlet Toasted came out, I was like, that color story is for me. I remember purchasing it. I used it several times, but that was a palette that ended up just sitting on my shelf, and I recently decluttered that to one of my girlfriends to see if she could get more use out of it, but the packaging was really nice. You had a nice large mirror in there, and I feel like the shadows were fine. I just didn't get a ton of use out of it. And that was it, guys. Those were the purchases that I made in 2017. I find them very interesting, but also you can see that there are some favorites that are still in my collection today that I'm still using. And then there are others that like I completely forgot about, purchased them one time and haven't purchased them since. So I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you using any of these products that I mentioned? If you are, let us know what you think about them. Or was this maybe like a blast from the past and I reminded you of something that you want to try out? If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed because next week, Friday, we are going to revisit my 2018 Sephora purchases. That was the year I got pregnant. So I feel like I had a ton of purchases in 2017 and 2018, and then it died down in 2019. But we are going to revisit those for the next 2 Fridays. So make sure you are subscribed. That way you will get a notification when I upload those videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.